The show itself then starts, the pay-per-view, and we have Vince McMahon with Dok Hendrix.
Now, I was so confused, Mark.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Dok Hendrix and why is he Michael Hayes?
What? Oh, I mean, what happened to poor Michael Hayes?
What's happened here then?
Michael Hayes signs a contract, comes to the WWF in 1995. That is a late date to decide you're bringing in Michael Hayes as an active wrestler. In he comes. He has a squash match against the most unfortunately named preliminary wrestler of all time, who's Ken Raper.
No.
I mean, it's showbiz, kid.
No.
It's showbiz. If you have to change your name from being Greenbaum and stuff, maybe someone should have had a word and say, kid, the surname Raper doesn't look good when we flash it up on screen, right? Michael Hayes has this match, but then his back is shot. So he's one of those guys who clearly they didn't quite do enough paperwork on before they signed him. So you end up with Michael Hayes. He's going, I actually can't wrestle anymore. So they go, well, do you know what? You're one of the industry's great talkers. You know, you are a great mind for this business. You have been around. You've done some of the biggest angles of the 80s. So you will find a natural home here. And the obvious thing that you do with him is you say, you are going to become a colour commentator. Yeah. You have the gift of the gab. First of all, we're going to cut your hair because you're now corporate. You're Michael Hayes. Get rid of the purely sexy. You're not PS Hayes. You're going to be PC Hayes. Yeah. Purely corporate. And you will wear a suit. Yeah. You can wear a 90s suit. We're not all hung up on, pinstripes and black. You can wear a fun suit, a jazzy suit. Yeah. The sort of suit that says, I do a lot of coke. Right? You can wear that and have a good time. What nobody is really prepared for is Michael Hayes is as bad on commentary as anybody else. We've seen superstar Billy Graham do this. We've seen Lord Alfred Hayes do it. Yeah. I would say both of them were less nervous and brought more to the table than Dok Hendrix does.
There's no real... I don't think he ever says anything over 3 words.
No, and a couple of times you can tell he's second-guessing everything now. Yeah. There's one bit where he does...
You can feel it right.
He does a great thing, and it's a Savio Vega bit. And Savio Vega is doing well in one of his later matches, and Dok Hendrix he hasn't spoken for 20 minutes. He just goes, they're going to be standing on their feet and cheering down in the South Bronx. And Vince McMahon just goes, what? I mean, they're going to be standing and cheering everywhere, not just in the South Bronx. That's just his hometown. And you can hear Michael Hayes, that sort of thing of just going, I can't win for trying,
There's a bit later on where there's some like music, and his only comment is, that needs a little bit of top end.
He does.
That music needs a little low end to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Always the music producer.
I can imagine that Vince McMahon's turned to him afterwards and going, do you think anyone got that reference as to what you meant? Why did you do that? He has that thing of going, they're going to be cheering from tonight in that room. And Vince McMahon just going, they're going to be cheering from in every room. And you go, all right, fucking hell, mate.
All right, mate. I'm doing my best.
Cheers for that.
Try to get a bit of colour in there.
Yeah. Oh, well, don't forget the people in the future who aren't alive yet will also be watching this and enjoying it.
Fucking wedge.
Michael Hayes did only do 3 shows. He did In Your House, this one, King of the Ring 95, and he would do a little bit of SummerSlam 95 because Jerry Lawler had been doing the commentary and was taken out. And so Michael Hayes had to fill in. But they would never let him do it again. What is unusual, though, is that Hayes, behind the scenes, did become a very key part of the organisation. He became one of the big writers and producers of SmackDown. Yeah. And he does a lot now. So he's now been with the WWF for 27 years. I don't think in these first 2 years he thought that was going to be on the cards.
No, he thought he was going to be out on his ear.
He's going to be Stephanie Weanded. He's going to be stuck in a box and sent to Todd Pettengill to open. And then Todd Pettengill will just basically go, we fired him. You can do what you like with him. Todd Pettengill will go, time to get purely sexy.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and what a night it was. Indeed, the Hall of Fame banquet. Tremendous. Yep. Having fun, Doc? I'm having a blast. And I look good, too. But it's Christmas. It's right around the corner. And plus, I like the caroling. Remember the Eagles song? Bells will be ringing. And I'll tell you what, an early Christmas gift, because this Sunday it's LIVE, live on pay-per-view in your house. And man, oh man, I got a feeling some WWF superstars are going to end up getting their bell rung. And boy, oh boy, what a great early Christmas gift, like I mentioned. Gather the kids around the TV and have in your house.
The first match on the pay-per-view is Yokozuna, who is one of the WWF Tag Team Champions, versus Savio Vega. Rare showing as well in that no titles are defended. The Intercontinental belt isn't even defended on this show, which is unusual at this time. Yeah. You get Diesel, who's the champion, is in a tag match. It's also a part of the reason it feels so unspecial. There really are low stakes in all of these matches. It starts off with an interview with Savio Vega, who I believe, what do Puerto Rican people speak as the sort of primary language? Is it Portuguese or Spanish?
Oh, I want to say Portuguese, but maybe not.
I'm going to say it's Portuguese, whether that's right or not.
Because the word Puerto's in there.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? The bit that he does, he just sort of starts speaking in Portuguese. And Todd Pettengill...
It's motherfucking Spanish.
Is it? There you are. Who speaks the Portuguese? Is that Brazilians?
Brazilians, yeah.
Yeah. He starts speaking in Spanish, and Todd Pettengill just looks at Razor Ramon like, what's this guy fucking doing? What's
he talking about me?
Is he talking mumbo jumbo? it really is a sort of ignorant way, and I didn't know what language it was.
Well, I always think that Portuguese sounds like Spanish people speaking Russian, or Russian people speaking Spanish. I think it's got a very interesting cadence.
I spend a lot of time second guessing myself and not saying, oh yes, that's South American country, they speak Spanish.
It's mainly Spanish apart from Brazil.
So I tend to always go, yes, I believe they speak Portuguese in Mexico. And people go, no, it's Spanish, isn't it? And I'll go, yeah, not all over.
Probably right.
There has already been enough Savio Vega on this show so far, as far as I'm concerned.
He's tired by now.
He is. And out comes Yokozuna. And Yokozuna, again, that sense of everything going a bit wrong in WWE at this time.
Yeah. But they'll always back a big guy.
I mean, he is spread too far, hasn't he? He's upright, and as he moves, he's swaying.
Yes.
I mean, he's
got 3 centres of gravity.
Hasn't he?
It's kind of like a pendulum.
He looks like he's brie. He's got a sort of like a wet brie-ness about him. He is much too big. The following year, they will basically say to him, we are going to sack you because you are at a dangerous level here. And he will make the decision then to come to Britain to wrestle, where it's laxer, and he will, of course, die in a hotel in Liverpool. That is something I'm looking forward to writing about soon. I'm going to do a big sort of, I'm about to say autopsy on the story, and that's not the right word. But
climbing like a tauntaun.
One of the things I found really difficult to find is the name of the hotel that Yokozuna died in. There's lots of hotels change their names as well as they get taken over.
There's a lot in like Park Lane, because if they're nice hotels where the comedians died.
Yeah. Peter Sellers had the big heart attack at the Dorchester, that sort of thing. Probably those hotels are a bit like, we don't want to really trade on the fact that people die in our rooms, especially when they're very big. It seems like a strange thing to do. Vega is, they put him against a legitimate star here in Yokozuna, but at the same time, they're hedging their bets. So instead of having Vega like storm Yokozuna and just get a quick pinfall and everybody celebrate, they go for 8 minutes. It does feel like 20, this.
Yes.
It's a really, really, really draggy match. Fans are chanting USA during this as well, which is, you've got a Puerto Rican with his fake Cuban mate taking on a Samoan who's pretending to be Japanese. The USA thing is very confusing.
And doesn't Vega is it this match where he gets a flag that's an American flag and a Puerto Rican flag out? It's like a double flag.
Yeah, and again, you're slightly fudging something. Yeah. If you want a fucking American hero, you've literally not put Lex Luger on this show.
Yeah.
Put Lex Luger on this show. Don't have him lose to Count Out to Yokozuna in a qualifier on Superstars.
Yeah.
Put him in the tournament. Give it some star power. Instead, what we get is Owen Hart runs down to confront Razor Ramon. That, again, a match I would really happily watch. I wasn't given. And Yokozuna ends up coming out, and Vega wins the match by count out. If you're trying to do this, he is succeeding against the odds. You can't give him cheap victories. And a count out victory is almost like a win by default.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you that thing. If you're not beating actual stars, then you're always going to feel like you're one step behind. He's beaten at IRS. He didn't really beat Yokozuna. That is a bad start to doing this. Can he go all the way through to the end? There'll be worse stuff coming out of that. The thing I really took away from this is Yokozuna did not look like he should be in a ring in this. And his wrestling had become almost as bad as Mabel's.
Yes.
They get to a certain size, these guys, and the size is the reason that they're pushed to that level. But they can't really perform in the ring. And Yokozuna, the WWE have always been very, very keen on promoting him as being one of the greatest big men of all time. I dispute that.
because I've watched him.
I've seen a lot of what he does, and I don't think anyone would say, do you know what, I really enjoyed that Yokozuna match. His strongest matches were probably with Bret Hart, and that's more of a testament to Bret Hart's ability than it is Yokozuna's. When you see Yokozuna against Savio Vega, you really sort of go, this is not a man who should be in the ring.
So I found the news story. Wednesday, the 25th of October 2000, a piece from The Guardian. A leading American wrestler has died while touring the UK with the Wrestling Roadshow. Agatapu Rodney Anoye, who performed on the stage of Yokozuna, found dead at a Liverpool hotel on Monday. No suspicious circumstances. He weighed more than 42 stone. He's a father of two. He was touring with a roadshow promoted by the Birkenhead firm, Big Time Wrestling Promotion.
That's right. They're slightly unfair by calling it a roadshow. It was just what the British circuit was.
Right.
You would travel around and you'd go to new... It's odd that phrase roadshow comes up in a lot of the obituaries when it is just he was taking part in a wrestling tour.
Yeah. Well, Brian Dixon, the promoter, said he was one of the most important stars of wrestling. He was very proud to be part of a tour in this country. He was due to perform on Monday night at Stockport Town Hall. Police were called to his room at the Moat House Hotel, which I've just Googled. It was knocked down in 2005. So, 4 p.m. after his body was found, the show went ahead, preceded by a 10-bell salute to him. The other wrestlers were devastated. This is the thing that makes me think it's a bit carny. Yoko was a gentle giant, etc., all nice stuff. And then he says, it was possible that the wrestler had died of a heart attack, but he was very fit. He wasn't, Mr. Dixon. He really wasn't.
There's another little bit which I thought you were going to read out, which is where Brian Dixon had said, we know that Yokozuna would not want the tour to end, and we know that he would love it
if
to have
everyone
carried
came
on.
Down and bought the tickets.
Even that classic bit of wrestling promoter thing to go, and he was so looking forward to performing tonight in Stockport. Tickets £3. I did actually find a video of the last match that Yokozuna took part in. He was teaming on this tour with Greg Valentine, the Dream Team. They were taking on two sort of local British guys. And what was amazing about it is they were actually working really hard. It's as good a Greg Valentine and Yokozuna tag team match as you could possibly imagine. It was really good fun. They were doing lots of chops on the British people, which is one of those things that you have to take. But I mean, people hate taking chops because they sound loud, but they really hurt.
Yeah.
And they are one of those things that you could tell that Yokozuna and Greg Valentine were like, we can really chop this. This is an easy thing for us to do, and it sounds really good. And you just have that thing of, those poor, underpaid Choppies, British lads just having to take those big chops off a 42-stone fit man.
Now, I am thinking that this could be a true crime podcast in the making. The city centre landmark, the Moat House Hotel, is being torn down after a short delay caused by the discovery of asbestos.
Look, it's the opponent that you cannot beat. The more you fight it, the more you lay your hands on it, the more you kick it, the more dangerous it becomes. I don't think there's ever been a Mexican wrestler called Asbestos. But Asbestos is a great name.
Yeah, smashing.
Now, from Mexico City, Mexico!
Asbestos!
Speaking of Portuguese, Asbestos! We cut back after that pitiful match to Jerry Lawler, who is preparing his foot for the match against Bret Hart. He's got a hole in his sock. It's all stained and dirty and yellow. And he tells the announcers, he says,
I got a big dirty sock. Gross.
He says, I was almost arrested for sock abuse a while ago. Not sure that's what you were arrested for. Think it was something else. I'm going to tell you about Jerry Lawler's arrest. Jerry Lawler has always sort of said, it's one of those things,
A misunderstanding.
A couple of fans who their imaginations ran away with them. Not strictly what happened.
I hate purity. I hate goodness. I don't want virtue to exist anywhere. I want everyone corrupt.
Was what? Great. Solid. Is that Yokozuna? He's brilliant, Yokozuna. Mr. Fuji and Yokozuna. Is he big over here, Bundy? Yeah. You know him? Yeah, he knows corrupt. Yeah, WWF. Brilliant. That's brilliant. It's a good show.